Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday to you. It is Happy Taco Tuesday. Go out and support your favorite taco truck out there. Mornings with Michael is actually in the morning today. Mornings with Michael is brought to you for information and educational purposes only. And so let's take a look at the heat map, just see what's moving. We got a little yo-yo action again as the big cap techs are bouncing back again. Oracle was up big yesterday. Now it's like it's down big today. Nvidia is bouncing. Broadcom continues its strength. Google continues down. Meta is up, and Amazon is up, and Tesla is down. So energy is down, so it's bounced. Didn't last very long. Healthcare, Lilly is down again. Looks like the rest of the healthcare sector is doing well as financial, and got an interesting article in Investors Business Daily about Snow being able to take the title away from Nvidia for AI champ, I guess. So we'll take a look at that a little later, but that's that. Let's share our screen. So this is our look at annuities. We've been talking about this for a while, but annuities beat index investing by about 5% on average per month. Annuities go up, they do not come down. You don't have a risk of losing money, whereas index investing you do, stock market you do, ETFs you do. So there you have it. It goes up again, it just goes up the stairs. Over the long term, index investing is good, but would you give it up for losing 5% per year? How do they do that? Well, annuities give you a bonus when you sign in, and that bonus helps beat these averages. So here, that's that with annuities. If you need any more information, feel free to reach out to us. We'll be glad to give you more information and kind of see what some of your financial goals are. And let's share our screen again. Here we go. Microsoft. This was yesterday's chart. We'll take a look at that a little later. But right now, let's go take a look at our dollar index. Dollar index is pulling back to the 20-day moving average, down 0.2%. Take a look at silver first. Silver continues down. Interesting. Down 0.5%. Where she stops, nobody knows. It did go down to 1897. That's the lowest low we had. And I would suspect, since it's taken out this low, probably going to fill this gap over here. And will it go up from there? Nobody knows for sure, but that's what we're going to be watching. Gold. It's pretty flat today. Hasn't really gone too much down. Let's look at copper. Arrow copper now is above the 50-day moving average. We may add a little bit to this. And let's see some of our other coppers. Southern Copper remains steady at the 200-day moving average. FCX, Freeport McMoran, it's got a little bit of a pullback. Vale, the Vale was spiked, so they're pulling back about 1% today. BHP Australia, pretty flat, and our last one is Rio. Rio's got a little bit of a bounce, 0.42%. So let's look at our bond yields. It looked like they were down earlier. Yes, They were down much further. It looks like they're trying to bounce back, but still down 0.59% on the 10-year. So that's 4.214%. And it's, what is this? Yeah, the 20-year is pulling back as well. So this is 3.39%. Let's look at the VIX volatility index. Now it's fallen to a new low. We said over here, right around here, it was, I think, is this an all-time low? You'd have to go back on a monthly basis, just check. It's not an all-time low, but it is the lowest low. Let's see, going back to 2020. Pretty interesting. S&P 500. It's up 0.2% today. Equal weight is up 0.12%, just slightly above yesterday. And let's look at our high beta. High beta is up 0.22%. That's pretty good here. The FANG U is up pretty strong today, up 1.81%. So let's go to the NASDAQ. NASDAQ is up 0.42%. Looks like the volume is kind of receding here, but let's take a look at the equal weight. Equal weight is up 0.17%. IWM, small caps, got a little bit of a pullback today. And Dow Jones is moving forward strongly. So let's go to our news. On to Choice Hotels. Launches an exchange offer to acquire outstanding shares of Wyndham Hotels Resorts. Choice Hotels currently holds approximately 1.5 million shares of Wyndham stock, and Choice Hotels goes down on this, down to its declining 10-day moving average. And Wyndham had gone up, but now it's pulling back 1.23%. Casey General Stores tried to move higher. It's got pulled back right in line with where it was yesterday. Quarter two EPS $4.24 versus estimate of $3.80 inside same store sales, up 2.9%. Revenues up 4.06 versus estimate of 4.058. So Ford is cutting F-150 Lightning production by half in 2024, Automotive News reported, and the stock is up 0.72% on that news. Not much volume. Hasbro said it's cutting nearly 20% of its workers through 1,100 jobs and weak sales of toys and games heading into the holiday season. Come on, people. Let's get in the holiday spirit. Save these people's jobs. Lucid, just a little, I know we can't always do what we want for the best for others, but we just need to turn this economy around. Lucid Group announced Sherry House, Chief Financial Officer, CFO, informed the company that she is resigning from her position, effective immediately to pursue other opportunities, and the stock is moving down on that, down about 9%. Energy, Industrials, and Materials, Bluebird Bio, huge volume today. A lot of buyers here, a lot of buyers yesterday. Look at all these blue streaks here. Yeah, as gapping up, and it's in the top 3/4 of its range, up 17%. Volume is up 1,301% over the average. 2 days in a row. Earnings are supposed to be up 80% in 2024 and another 23% in 2025. Quarter four adjusted EPS 66 cents versus estimate 48 cents. And earnings up 199% over the previous quarter. On to Boeing. Boeing has promoted Stephanie Pope, the head of services businesses, to Chief Operating Officer, putting her in discussion as a potential heir apparent to CEO David Calhoun. The Pope is in charge. Wouldn't that sound great at Boeing? Yes, Boeing is popping up here. This is part of the reason I'm sure the Dow Jones is moving up. Star Bulk and Eagle Bulk Shipping to combine. Star Bulk, not much movement there. Creating a leader in dry bulk shipping. Eagle shareholders will receive 2.6211 shares of Star Bulk common stock for each share of Eagle common stock. Owned represents a total of consideration approximately $52.60 per share, 17% premium based on Eagle's closing price of $44.85 on December 8, 2023. And Eagle is moving up big time, massive volume. So investors are liking that. Transocean Limited rig announced a minimum 540-day contract for Transocean Barents with OMV Petrom SA in the Romanian Black Sea at a rate of $465,000 per day, excluding additional services. And Transocean is actually moving down near 2% today. Financials. Alliance Bernstein preliminary assets under management increased to $696 billion during November 2023 from $652 billion at the end of October. 6.7% assets under management increase was due to market appreciation and firm-wide net inflows into all three distribution channels. On to Franklin Resources. Ben, preliminary month-end assets under management, 141 trillion at November 30th, 2023, compared to 1.33 trillion on October 31st. And Franklin is moving up on that news. That's a nice move above its 200-day moving average. Victory Capital Holdings reported assets under management of 159.6 billion as of November 30th, 2023. And got a gap up today. Veritas Capital is close to a deal to sell 50% stake in Cotiviti to alternate asset manager KKR in a deal that would value the healthcare technology company to around 11 billion, the Wall Street Journal reported last night. I had a meeting with somebody with KKR a couple of days ago. Thanks for your time, and hope everything continues well with you at KKR. Don't want to name names. Prudential authorized a stock buyback for up to $1.0 billion. And the stock is moving up and had been moving up, working on the right side of a base. Had a double bottom here. 97.72 would have been the buy over here. And now it's at 102.24. So like William O'Neill at Investors Business Daily said, you can't kiss all the babies. But just trying to show you the technicals of buying a stock. ADC Therapeutics said a combination of cancer drug Zynlonta and biosimilar of Roche's Rituxan demonstrated an overall response rate of 96% in patients with type of lymphatic cancer in mid-stage study. ADC Therapeutics is up slightly, up 2 cents, which is 2%. Take a look at Roche. If you type the right letters, it'll come up. And there we go. Moved up and has pulled back, but it's up 0.33%. Volume's kind of muted. CN Centene said it expects to generate over $6.70 in adjusted EPS, up from prior view of $6.60 versus consensus of $6.74. Sees full year 24 revenues 142.5 to 145.5 billion versus the 142.01 billion estimate. Connect Biopharma announces positive Radom Mikbart global phase 2B top-line results in adult patients with moderate to severe persistent asthma. And it's not doing anything for the stock as it is down 10%. It's under $1. Go figure. On to Innovative. Q4 adjusted EBITDA 23.7 million versus estimate 31.23 million on revenues of 140.7 million. And the stock sold off 26%. Ouch. $2.25. Look out below. That's a huge volume on that stock as well. Pfizer announced the acceptance of regulatory submissions for its anti-tissue factor pathway inhibitor candidate. I mean, butcher this too bad. Marstacimab. And Pfizer is down 0.24% on that news. Didn't help any. Sanofi releases a statement saying that they are disappointed with the FTC announcement. It is seeking a preliminary injunction against a proposed licensing agreement between Sanofi and Maze Therapeutics. Company says they will therefore be terminating the agreement with Maze in accordance with its terms. And the market liked that, up 0.53%. And finally, we go into technology, media, and telecom. Q2 adjusted EPS of Oracle, $1.34 versus estimate $1.32. I guess people were expecting more yesterday before the earnings were released, as it's down 12% on massive volume. And Alphabet owned Google has lost an antitrust case filed by Epic Games after California federal jury decided it maintains a monopoly in its app store distribution and payments market. So that's the story there. Let's see if we can take a look at the snow news. Pull up the chart of snow. Yeah, it's definitely breaking out. See, I can't quite find the news right now. Here we go. Here's analysis. Snowflake Senior Vice President for AI, Sridhar Ramaswamy, said that in this new AI era, generative AI and large language models will reshape how we live, work, and do business. He accepted the honor of topping the Future 50. Snowflake's focus on applying machine learning and AI to its data cloud platform fits right into the AI boom. Snowflake's in winter. Snowflake's single platform data cloud simplifies the sharing, collaborating, and monetizing of thousands of dataset services and entire data applications. It is compiled in collaboration with consulting firm BCG, the latest Fortune Future 50 compiled after examining over 1,000 publicly traded companies with at least 20 billion in market share or 10 billion in revenue, 2022. Other top 10 future 50 names include Datadog, CrowdStrike, and Cloudflare. So Snowflake is moving up. Look at Datadog. It's just kind of hanging in there, pulled back to close to the 20-day. We know about CrowdStrike as we've looked at them frequently. It's moving up again today. And Cloudflare is right into the breakout zone. Not sure why this keeps popping up. So that's where that is. Looks like the buy point was 76.17. Snowflake stock in demand among A-plus funds. After melting down after its IPO, it's rebounding through institutional demand. Let's go back to our Snowflake. From a sharp turnaround in earnings growth in recent quarters, it's closing on a fresh buy point. There we see there, prior year quarter showed a loss for Snowflake, but the company posted multiple quarters of triple-digit or better earnings through fiscal 2023. Wall Street forecast 42% gain of earnings and $1.12 in 2025. So that's kind of our news with Snowflake. So let's take a look at our ETF list. Financials. Wow. Financials are just roaring ahead. They look pretty good, even though volume is a little muted. Energy, expect to be down. It gaps down big time. Oil prices gap down. Wow, that does not look good at all. Down 4.3%. Communications with Google and Meta leading the charge. Looks okay. It's just hanging out in the buy zone here. Haven't looked at utilities for a while. Trying to get back to the 200-day moving average. Real estate continues to look strong. We got this nice bookshelf pattern here, or flat base, whatever you want to call it. My favorite, Mark Minervini's favorite, I believe. Just tells you there's support for in this area. Here's biotech bouncing off of the 10-day moving average. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. This other biotech now is taking the lead and leading of the group. Had a nice bookshelf pattern here. Got pretty good volume yesterday. I'm not sure what the volume will end today, but that is a pretty nice jump to get above the 200-day moving average. Technology remains strong. We had that massive volume spike yesterday. Software, which has been leading, has got a little bit of a pullback today. Infrastructure, interesting. Haven't looked at this for a while, and look what happens when you don't look at something for a while. We had a little tight area here, and it broke above that. Volume was kind of muted, but there we go. We're not sure if it is a wedging pattern or not. We'll just have to see. Wedging is when a stock or index goes up on low volume. We want to see strong volume to show that institutional sponsorship is there. Semiconductors. Continue yesterday's move, up 0.76%. Industrials continue their strong move. We saw with Boeing earlier. Building materials tried to move up, and then it sold off today. Pretty good volume. Not sure if that's on the sell side after it tried to break out. Mining and metals takes a dive as we saw gold and silver continue their downturn. Home builders index, pretty flat today. So that's a look at our ETFs. Let's see if we can see where the big money was moving. Interesting, the same company that was leading yesterday is leading again today. Hollis's automation techs got a strong move up 2 days in a row. Now the volume is even higher today than it was yesterday. Highest volume since the base. Wow, that's just very interesting. Interesting, I've got a post here from Mark Minervini. It's very interesting and surprising to me that only a small percentage of investors list discipline as the number one thing that prevents people from being profitable in the market. Put that in your hat and smoke it. Bluebird, which we saw in the news, just jumping up 21% from the pivot in 148 days. Linde, big move in Linde, manufactures auto atmospheric gases, processes gases, and industrial gas production equipment. We had a big atmospheric, not a big, but an atmospheric scientist in San Francisco this week. Guidewire Software was a big loser yesterday, is bouncing back. Looks like it's being supported. It's getting above the 20-day moving average. Duolingo, a recent IPO in 2020. Gapped up here. Once again, keep showing this, but it's really important. Once on a gap, if it holds this line, I think it's buyable. It did consolidate a little bit, but it did not come close to violating the low here. And it looks like it's trying to break out again today. Spectrum Brands. Looks like it's working on the right side of a base here. Pretty good volume, up 1.75. Shake Shack was on our list yesterday as we saw a big, we saw a gap up and hit the high. And then it's moving up again today. Pretty good volume, second day in a row. And Woodward manufactures energy control and optimization solutions, switches and whatnot for electrical handholds. It's moving up pretty good today. It's down in price. We looked at Oracle. Silver Bowl Resources gaps down massively, down 10%. Engaged in exploration of oil and natural gas. Large volume. ACLX or Celix in the biotech, down about 8%. Pretty good volume there again. Johnson Controls, largest volume since the base over here, down 7.21%. Looks like a lot of oil companies are down here. Occidental Petroleum on big, 3.3%. National Grid, natural gas, Not down so much in percentage, but massive selling there. Not sure if I put that. First Trush Clean Edge pulls back to the 50-day, 2.43% of pretty good volume. Look at Hasbro, I believe. USA Compression Partners down big time, down 3%. Pretty good volume, 2 days in a row. Grocery Outlet gaps down 6.25%. Wow, look at that volume. So what is actually moving? Let's take a look at some of the things that we had focused on. CAVA got a massive buying today, up 18%. Look at that. Glad I added instead of selling as we got the pullback under the 50-day moving average. Let's see if we can pull up what news might be. Some big buyer has come in. Definitely. It's taking a position. Motley Fool. Doesn't really have any news here, it looks like. So we'll just take it and kind of see how things move tomorrow. It may have been relief from that the lockup had been extended, that people weren't going to be got a rush of selling. So that's the story there. I really like this company. Pulled back to 29.66. I'm not sure if this was a shakeout or what. Apparently looks like it right now. And the low over here, can't really, I'm not sure why that is not working today, but that's the story there with CAVA. Zscaler moved up again as well. Looks like we got a little consolidation breakout. Up 2.32%. Our buy around 177 is starting to look pretty good. It's in option, so we can convert it later. GitLab also is moving up today in software, up a little over 2%. Remember, said about the gap up rule, it did have a pullback, but it did not violate this low of the gap up. Had a little bit of consolidation. Now it starts moving again. CrowdStrike was the other cyber protection stock I was talking about. Keeps moving up. It's trending higher. I'm really upset about losing out on that $155 call option. But just remember, if you believe in something, hold on to your belief, and many times it'll come true. Let's take a look at the LTE. Continues higher. It's getting close to the sell zone. I may take a, if it gets up in this green area, I may take a 1/3 profit. We'll just kind of see where we're at. And I think it's going to possibly go to 51. But the lesson here is don't get too greedy, sell on strength. GLSI sold off again this morning, and it's getting back. Looks like it's getting back up to where it was. Yeah, tends to sell off in the morning and then recover. Here's where it went yesterday, came back, and then here's where it went today. Slightly higher sell-off, and here's where it is again. We're just going to hold on for now. Let's see if we get a little recovery. It did have a big move up here, so it's not surprising some people are taking their profits. Meta had a big pullback to the 50-day moving average, and now it's bouncing today up 1.76%. On the pullback, we bought call options. So it's at 1.77%. Microsoft just kind of bouncing around here. Take a look at ARM. I was meaning to show this on Friday and yesterday. So we bought over here. It broke out on Friday, and now we got a little bit of a pullback. So we'll just continue watching this and see where it goes. And let me just take a look at our list here. Oh yes, we got ELF we were looking at. Since for eyes, lips, and face for makeup. We got, looks like we got a double bottom here, 112.47, 112.57 would have been the buy point. We bought the option at 120. So we'll just continue to watch this as it works on the right side of its base. So 112.57 would have been a buy out of the double bottom. Out of a natural breakout would be 139.95. I know the analyst for this is really strong on this. Really feels like they're going to do well. So we'll keep watching that. Didn't look at DNN. Denison Mines, just kind of hanging out here in the break zone. Take a look at the other uranium company. It's actually bouncing a little bit today. Cameco, Canadian company engaged in exploration, refining. The arrow, here's Samara, holding pretty strong, up 0.77%. We'll just see if it can continue higher. Take a look at Tesla. Pretty flat here, kind of weak. We'll just kind of see how things go here. NVIDIA, it looks like it's bouncing slightly today, up 1.11%. Not much volume, not much buying going on there. And finally, look at our silver position. We're just going to hold on. We bought some more over here. We're just waiting for a bounce before we complete our position. So that's going to be our show for today. This has been Mornings with Michael for information and educational purposes only. Interesting. This is an 18th month line. We'll discuss this at further detail future shows. But hope everybody has a great Taco Tuesday. Thanks for joining us. Keep working on your goals and your activities, and you'll keep astounding yourselves and others. If we can help you with any of your financial goals, please contact us. We'd love to look at your goals and see if we can help you surpass him. In the meantime, everybody have a great day.